You need a little brushing up on equality over here. That's why. Come on.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 20 stars who fired back at their interviewer.
You were like the carrot top of interviewers.
For this list, we'll be looking at the most notable instances where celebrities flipped the script on rude or unwarranted press junket questions. What's your favorite celeb interview clapback? Let us know in the comments. Number 20, Jesse Eisenberg. It's hard to call what happens here an interview, considering Romina Puga barely got to ask any questions in the first place. Eisenberg's frequent interruptions turned the so-called press event into a full-on roast, and not exactly a nice one either.
You're wondering what it's like to work with Morgan Freeman and you can't remember that?
You know.
Don't call Morgan Freeman like you're on a Little League softball team with him.
Even after Puga admits that she wants to cry, the two continue to play off Eisenberg's insults with awkward laughter. The interview eventually wraps up with a cheesy magic trick, but there was no sleight of hand capable of making the public backlash disappear. The clip went viral, and while Eisenberg claims his comments were all in jest, his dry sense of humor is clearly an acquired taste.
The thing is, I actually didn't want to find you. I was actually hoping to stay alone.
Such a jerk.
Yeah.
Number 19, Mike Tyson. Most morning news interviews end with some softball questions and a smile, but this Canadian anchor decided to throw Mike Tyson a curveball about his status as a convicted sex offender. For what it's worth, Tyson brushed off the question with a surprising amount of poise.
This could hurt his campaign. How would you respond to that?
Hey, I don't know who said that. You're the only one I heard say that. You know what I mean? And I don't have no comment to that.
Unfortunately, that composure didn't last long. Ironically, Tyson's promoter was sitting right next to him, and you can practically see him start to sweat. Both he and the interviewer try to get things back on track, but despite their best efforts, the segment devolves into a string of F-bombs and name-calling. Did we mention this was on live TV too?
We're gonna wrap up this interview. Thank you for coming.
Number 18, Cara Delevingne. These interviewers begin by mispronouncing Delevingne's first name, and it only gets worse from there. So it's no surprise the actress isn't exactly bouncing off the walls with excitement. But despite that, she answers most of their pointed questions with humor and honesty.
No, I never read the book or the script, actually. I kind of winged it.
Yeah.
No, of course, I love the book. I think the book's amazing.
Still, the anchors aren't keen on her attitude, and even call her out on it. Delevingne tries to deflect, but when the interviewers double down on the question, she claps back with her trademark sass.
You do seem a bit irritated. Perhaps it's just us.
Delevingne's feed abruptly cuts off before they can do a proper sign-off, but considering the tension in the air, that was probably for the best. Number 17, Laverne Cox. When transgender model Carmen Carrera sat down for a talk show interview with Katie Couric, things got personal fast. But thankfully, Laverne Cox was there to save the day.
Your private parts are different now, aren't they?
I don't want to talk about it because it's really personal.
As a prominent figure in the transgender community herself, Cox shut down all of Couric's intrusive questions, especially the ones about Carrera's body parts. Cox further explained that by focusing only on the transition, Couric's words distracted from the broader trans experience.
And by focusing on bodies, we don't focus on the lived realities of that oppression and that discrimination.
In a future interview, Couric apologized and thanked Cox for calling her out. It just goes to show that if you're ever going to do an interview, you want someone like Laverne Cox by your side. Number 16, Snoop Dogg. When this famed rapper arrived late to a Norwegian interview, it was only natural that they asked him why. After all, Snoop Dogg wasn't just a few minutes delayed. No, he'd missed the start time by 5 whole hours. Even so, Snoop obviously wasn't thrilled to be asked about his tardiness.
Be happy I'm here and ask some real questions.
He responded with a few expletives and implied that they should be happy he even showed up. When the question was pressed, Snoop joked that he was off getting chicken wings.
I was late because I went to go get some chicken wings.
It doesn't seem like the reporters ever got a good answer out of him, but whether that's because of the time constraints or their ill-advised question, we'll never know. Number 15, Lady Gaga. Take notes, everyone. This is how you shut down rumors for good. During a sit-down with David Letterman, Lady Gaga refused to entertain any questions about her highly theorized lifestyle.
Do you have a boyfriend? Not right now? Is that a no?
Why are you asking?
Letterman just wouldn't quit though. Eventually, Gaga made her displeasure known by stealing his interview notes right off his desk. When that didn't work, she took it a step further and literally chewed them up. Keep in mind, they weren't small sticky notes, they were full-sized pieces of paper.
I'm just so fed up with all of it.
Once? Hey, how about this one? What did you... Oh, no.
Was her reaction a bit out there? Absolutely. But it did shut down the line of questioning, that's for sure. And honestly, coming from Lady Gaga, we shouldn't have expected anything less. Number 14, Rihanna. At first, the Battleship press tour was all smooth sailing, but it inevitably hit some very choppy waters when Rihanna spoke with an Australian reporter. Following a few generic questions, the subject of the star's private life came up, specifically how frustrating it must be to have her personal affairs broadcast to the world. Rihanna's response was curt, to put it lightly.
Very frustrating. Almost as frustrating as being asked about it.
Even though it doesn't look like the news anchor meant any offense, that one question was enough to sink the rest of the interview. Rihanna allegedly called things off soon after, ending the whole clip on a very uncomfortable note.
That's where our interview abruptly ends.
Number 13, Ariana Grande.
If you could use makeup or your phone one last time, which one would you pick? Makeup or your phone?
Is this what you think girls have trouble choosing between?
Yeah.
If there's a record for most microaggressions in a single interview, this one might just take the cake. Whether it's thinly veiled sexism, toxic masculinity, or plain old intolerance, these radio hosts pretty much run the gamut of social issues. And Ariana Grande was not here for any of it. She shoots down each of their insensitive comments one after the other, without so much as raising her voice.
Who says the unicorn emoji isn't for men? Come on.
Later, the performer wraps up the interview by claiming that if she could change one thing in the world, she'd get rid of judgment and bigotry. Grande remains a class act through it all, but the message is loud and clear. Number 12, Matt Damon. During the 2011 Save Our Schools rally, this A-lister marched alongside 5,000 other protesters in support of teachers. But Damon's work was more than just for show. When an out-of-line interviewer implied that educators don't have to work hard, Damon went off.
So you take this MBA-style thinking, right? It's the problem with ed policy right now. There's this intrinsically paternalistic view of problems that are much more complex than that.
His mother is a teacher, and clearly she taught him how to convey an argument with tact, knowledge, and conviction. Damon's respect for the school system is nothing short of applause-worthy, especially since he uses the reporter's own flawed logic against them.
And I don't know, maybe 10% of cameramen are bad. I mean, but what's the point? What's the point? Yeah.
As you can imagine, the interview doesn't last very long after that. But rest assured, Damon got his point across. Number 11, MILA KUNIS. These Friends with Benefits co-stars are clearly buds in real life. Look no further than this infamous press junket, where Justin Timberlake is asked an incredibly rude question about his transition into acting. He doesn't even get a chance to reply before Mila Kunis steps up to bat for him. She utterly dismantles the reporter's question and train of thought, and all in Russian too. It's a true marvel to see, especially since poor Timberlake is a half step behind on the translation. Not that Kunis needed the backup anyway. Once she's finished, all Timberlake can do is joke that she's his bodyguard. After what we just saw, we believe it. Number 10, Tom Hardy. If anything, Hardy was far too polite. The interviewer at a press conference opens his questioning with the ridiculous statement that Hardy's sexuality seems ambiguous. He then keeps rolling, asking if celebrities find it hard to openly discuss their sexuality, before clarifying that he is asking Hardy directly about his.
Do you find it hard for celebrities to talk to media about their sexuality?
What on earth are you on about?
The actor simply asks why he's asking about that, which stumps the kid in his tracks, probably ending his career in the process. Hardy then gives him a simple but commanding "thank you," ends the questioning on his own terms, and proves that he's just as badass in real life as he is in front of the camera.
Are you asking me about my sexuality?
Sure.
Why?
Why?
Thank you.
Okay.
Number 9, Anne Hathaway. It seems as if male interviewers can't shake the image of Anne Hathaway in a catsuit.
How do you fit into that suit? takes 3 of us.
First, it's Extra's Jerry Penacoli telling Hathaway that she is in, quote, phenomenal shape, and asking what the leather suit was like.
Any particular workout?
Are you trying to lose weight?
Well,
like, what's the deal, man? You look great.
No.
No, seriously. We have to talk about this. What do you want? Are you trying to fit into a cat suit?
Then it's Chris Van Vliet asking her how much weight she had lost to get in, again, quote, phenomenal shape. While Hathaway takes it in stride and has a smile on her face the whole time, you can still tell that she was a little uncomfortable with the question, and obviously refused to answer it directly. He was lucky she's so sweet.
How much weight have you lost to get into this shape right now?
You did not just ask me that
I'm
question.
just saying, you're like...
What a forward young man you are. My goodness.
Number 8, Mel Gibson. There are a few things you don't bring up in a simple promotional interview, including, as we've seen, a star's sexuality and weight. We can add their past drinking problems to that list as well.
It's almost 4 years ago, dude. I mean, I've moved on. I guess you haven't.
Gibson appeared on WGN-TV with reporter Dean Richards to answer questions about his movie Edge of Darkness. Things were going well enough, until Richards brought up Gibson's problematic past, resulting in Gibson telling Richards to move on before wryly giving him a thumbs up and calling him an asshole.
And, you know, I've done all the necessary mea culpas, so let's move on, dude. Come on.
Richards probably just wanted ratings and views, and he certainly got that, and a little something extra.
It's good to see you back in the saddle and doing what you do best. Thanks a lot for joining us, Mel. Take care.
Bye-bye. Asshole.
Number 7, Samuel L. Jackson. People have been mixing up Samuel L. Jackson and Lawrence Fishburne for years, but this interview and case of mistaken identity was one that finally pushed Jackson over the edge.
Did you get a lot of reaction to that Super Bowl commercial?
What Super Bowl commercial?
KTLA's Sam Rubin asked Jackson about the supposed Super Bowl commercial that he had starred in, and this set Jackson off on a 2-minute tangent in which he completely eviscerated Rubin on air.
You're as crazy as the people on Twitter.
Right.
I'm not Lawrence Fishburne.
That's my fault. I know that. That was my fault. My mistake. You know what?
We don't all look alike.
He constantly cut him off, told him that not all black people look alike, and even took a jab at Rubin's job as an entertainment reporter.
You're the entertainment reporter for this station?
Vlog.
And you don't know the difference between me and Lawrence Fishburne?
Rubin can do nothing but awkwardly laugh it off before conceding that it was a well-deserved spanking.
I'm the what's in your wallet black guy.
Okay.
He's the car black guy.
There it is.
Morgan Freeman is the other credit card black guy.
Number 6, Kanye West.
Let me finish my question, dog.
Man, man.
Let me hear the question.
You don't have
man.
the answers.
I'm asking you for the answer. It's a question.
It isn't clear, but apparently Sway doesn't have all the answers. In this Sway in the Morning interview, Kanye displays great modesty by declaring himself to be the single greatest artist of our generation, an equal to Shakespeare.
I'm standing up and I'm telling you I am Warhol. I am the #1 most impactful artist of our generation. I am Shakespeare in the flesh, Walt Disney.
When Sway tries to give Kanye advice on how to further his genius, Kanye goes ballistic and screams, quote, "You ain't got the answers," countless times directly into the microphone.
Or why don't you empower yourself and don't need them and do it yourself?
How, Sway?
Take a few steps back.
You ain't got the answers, man. You ain't got the answers.
To top it off, Kanye takes a jab at Sway's clothing line and constantly interrupts him by yelling into the mic. Kanye absolutely exploded on him. But then again, Kanye will Kanye, and Sway should have expected that.
What's the name of your clothing line? We don't know.
Number 5, Robert Downey Jr. Krishnan Gurumurthy of Channel 4 News has certainly made a name for himself in the early 21st century because of his belligerent interviewing style, as showcased with this infamous Robert Downey Jr. interview. RDJ's reluctance to answer personal questions is clearly evident, as he looks off to his publicist and begins to breathe deeply.
Let me just ask you a few more questions and you can answer them if you want to and not if you don't want to.
So when a well-warned Gurumurthy brings up Robert's troubled past, Downey simply says goodbye and walks out, leaving a curiously bewildered Krishnan sitting in awkward silence.
Still something
I'm sorry, I really don't. What are we doing?
Well, I'm just asking questions, that's all.
Right.
I mean,
okay. Bye.
Thank you. Are you... I'm sorry.
To his credit, Downey doesn't unleash on him, but it's pretty bad for an interviewer to have their subject walk out of the room.
You seem okay, it's just getting a little dinosaur in your... No, look, I don't want to do that.
Thank you. Number 4, Scarlett Johansson. Okay, here's a tip for all you budding reporters out there. Unless you're writing for an adult magazine or a lingerie blog, maybe don't ask your subjects about their underwear. Here we meet up again with Extra's Jerry Penacoli, you know, the Anne Hathaway fan, who's now asking Scarlett Johansson about whether she wore underwear under her Avengers costume.
Now, were you able to wear undergarments?
You're like the fifth person that's asked me that.
Well, no, because
what is going on? Since when did people start asking each other in interviews about their underwear?
Scarlett quickly deflects the question and harshly berates Penacoli, all while Jeremy Renner sits there and awkwardly laughs along.
Is it inappropriate?
To ask somebody what kind of underpants they wear?
I didn't ask you what kind.
You just asked me if I was wearing any.
Johansson asks what kind of interview this is, and we can't help but ask the exact same question.
What kind of interview is this?
Number 3, Quentin Tarantino.
It's none of your damn business what I think about that.
Well, it's my job to ask you why you think that.
And I'm
because you're very
saying
influential.
no. And I'm shutting you down.
Once more, we see Channel 4's Krishnan Gurumurthy missing the mark and the social cues. Gurumurthy asks Tarantino about the relationship between cinematic and real violence. You know, Tarantino 101.
It's interesting that you have a different view, and I'm just trying to explore that.
Yeah, and I don't want to. Because I'm here to sell my movie.
Tarantino repeatedly tells Gurumurthy to drop it, and that his stance on the subject is well documented. Yet Krishnan sticks with it, leading to an incredibly awkward 4-minute-long back and forth.
Don't ask me a question like that. I'm not biting. I refuse your question.
Why?
Because I refuse your question. I'm not your slave and you're not my master. You can't make me dance to your tune. I'm not a monkey.
I can't make you answer anything.
We're honestly surprised that Tarantino didn't walk out like RDJ. Surely after the 10th time you tell someone to move on and they don't do it, you would start to get a little annoyed. Has this guy not seen Reservoir Dogs?
It's not my job to flesh it out.
No, it's my job to try and ask you to.
And I'm shutting your butt down.
Number 2, Jerry Seinfeld. Seinfeld is one of the most popular television shows, and arguably the most admired sitcom of all time. And Jerry doesn't want you to forget it. During an interview with Larry King, the host asks the comedian if he stopped the show on his own terms or if it was canceled.
You gave it up, right?
I did.
They didn't cancel you. You canceled them.
You're not aware of this?
No, I'm asking you.
You think I got canceled? Are you under the impression that I got canceled?
This leads to Seinfeld ripping into King, asking King if he knows who he is, telling him about the 75 million viewers who tuned into the finale, and subtly jabbing King about the decreased quality of his talk show.
Is this still CNN?
Don't most shows go down a little?
Most people do also.
You could argue that Seinfeld's response was a little uncalled for, but 75 million viewers, damn it.
Yeah, no, I went off the air. I was the #1 show on television, Larry.
Do
you know who I am?
Jewish guy, Brooklyn.
Yes.
Okay.
75 million viewers. Last episode.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1, Tom Cruise. It's one thing to ask a stupid question, it's another to prank your interviewee. Here Tom Cruise was being interviewed at an event when the interviewer squirted him with water via his prank microphone.
No, why would you do that?
Cruise seemingly has the patience of a saint because he calmly berates the man and calls him a jerk instead of decking him straight in the face.
That's incredibly rude. I'm here giving you an interview and answering your questions, and you do something really nasty. You're a jerk.
And the best part? When the interviewer turns around, his face is puckered as if he's about to cry. You know you've done a good job firing back at someone when they literally cry as a result.
Hey, no. Don't run away. Don't run away.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.